Hey guys, welcome back to the Bird's Nest Schoolhouse. My name is Jocelyn. If you're new here, I am a first-time homeschooling mom to a 5 and 6-year-old first grader and kindergartner. The sun is kind of playing with some shapes on my face, so I'm gonna try and stay out of the weird patches of sun. Anyway, in this video and in the next video, I'm gonna do a two-part series. I cannot believe it, but we are more than halfway through our first year of homeschooling, and now we are on the journey of trying to figure out what we are going to be doing next year, which is just crazy that we're already going to be in our second year of homeschooling. I feel like we just started. But anyway, so I have had so many thoughts in my brain about science and about history for next year. I thought I would come on here and just kind of present my ideas, and I hope you guys are willing to give some feedback and experience about what you have used for science and history with kindergartners, well, first graders and second graders. For both subjects, my hang up is kind of, I have a couple, especially with history, but I'll get to that. My kids are both young learners. 5 and 6 according to the Department of Education. My daughter should be in preschool and my son should be in kindergarten, but this year they are doing kindergarten and first grade work. But when it comes to science and history, I'm not necessarily sure that they're ready for the meat and potatoes of those subjects. So I'm going to start with science, and then in the next video I will do history and just kind of talk about all my ideas and my challenges. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for science, this year we have learned a lot about my teaching, what the kids are receptive to, their learning styles. I've really learned a lot this year. Trial and error for sure. When we started this year, we started with Blossom and Root. They're level 0, or I don't know if it's level 0, their space unit. And our plan was to do that for the entire school year, once a week, and that did not go well. The curriculum just did not vibe with us. I need more structure. It kind of presents it as a whole bunch of books, and you can look at this page from this, you can look at this video from this if you want, you do the workbook. It's not very, they don't just tell you what to do, and I like being told what to do when it comes to science. Me personally, I'm not a science person. In high school and college, I'm just not a science person. So I definitely need something that holds my hand a lot when it comes to science. So we switched over to Little School of Smiths, Me and My Amazing Body, and then we are going to be doing Me and My Place in Space coming up in the next term, and that has worked out really, really well. It is light. It gives you a couple readings, a couple videos, an activity, and you're done. And the kids get the point. They know what they have learned. They talk about what they've learned. So it's effective. And so that works out really, really well for us. So let's just get into my thoughts for next year based off of what we did this year. I have thought about keeping with unit studies. So I really like the idea of being able to switch it up every 6 to 8 weeks, which we did this term and we will be doing next term. Not necessarily focusing on something for the whole entire year. I think the kids enjoy that too, kind of mixing it up, keeps things interesting. So I have thought maybe we will just continue on the unit studies route, let the kids kind of choose a couple subjects that they find interesting. Like for my son, he's really into building things, engineering. He'll be doing Engineering Academy next term, which we have some exciting news coming up next term, so stay tuned for that. But he will be doing the Engineering Academy alongside Me and My Place in Space next term, and I know he's excited for that. He also does a STEM class here on island, so he's just really into all things STEM. So kind of letting them choose. We just recently went on a field trip where we visited a nursery, and the kids got to learn about all sorts of plants and native plants and things like that. So I thought that would be very cool to maybe do a botany study. So unit studies is an option. keep things interesting, change it up, pick and choose from all sorts of different topics. I have my notes down here, so I'm looking down. My next idea was Pandia Press Real Science Odyssey. I've heard that it's very age appropriate, it's very open and go. You go to your lesson, you read the lesson for the day, you do your lab, and that's it. You move on for the day. My hesitation with that, so we would either do the astronomy from them or I think it's life science, or I don't know. I'd have to look at the names again. I've looked at so many. My only hesitation with that while it's open and go, which is what I'm looking for, it only focuses on one subject for the entire year. And I'm not sure I can make that commitment. I think the kids would enjoy it, but they might get bored. And I don't know if people do like 2 of their books at the same time. I'm not sure if that's a thing, that's an option, but yeah, I like the idea of that program though, where what I have seen is very open and go and holds the parent's hand. So that is an option. So we have unit studies, we have Real Science Odyssey, and then the next one that I've been considering, which is BFSU, Building Foundations of Scientific Understanding. What I have looked at and read, and I've joined the Facebook and I've looked at a lot of the conversations, it is a lot of work for the parent. However, it provides the child or children a very good foundation of science. With my son being so science-minded, I like the idea of that. So even though I'm not a science person and I want something that's going to be easier for me, like I'm doing this for them, so I kind of have to remove myself. Well, I don't have to remove myself because I'm the one teaching it, but like just because I don't necessarily want to do it doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it. I have read that, it takes a lot of upfront work from the parent. You've got to read the lessons, and then they have the companion guide, so that kind of makes it easier for the parent. So you've got a lot of upfront work, but like once you actually get into the flow and you set everything up, it is actually a really, really good, solid program. But it does require a lot of parent involvement. So I'm really not sure if I am. The problem in that situation is me. Like the program is not the problem, it's me that's the one that's kind of like, So those are my big 3 question marks about programs for next year, whether we do unit studies, Real Science Odyssey, or BFSU with the companion guide. Another thing that we have been doing this year is I made a nature study for the kids over last summer, and they really, really enjoyed it. They've asked for it to come back. So we will be doing that probably in the last term, just finishing up the program that I created last summer, and that's just studying the ecosystems of the Virgin Islands. We got about halfway through it. So I want to keep a nature study aspect to our science, and I found this book completely by accident. It's called Keepers of the Earth, and this is science lessons, or it's Native American stories and environmental activities for children. So basically you read a myth or a story, a Native American story, and then you go out and it gives you, well, let me see. I'll just read a little bit. It says, this is a book about living, learning, and caring. It features a collection of North American Indian stories and related hands-on activities designed to inspire children aged 5 through 12 and help them to feel a part of their surroundings. The emphasis is on an interdisciplinary approach to teaching about the earth and Native American cultures. With their close ties to the land, North American Indian cultures are a vital link between human society and nature. So it gives you stories about creation, fire, earth, wind and weather, water, sky, plants and animals, life, death, spirit, and unity of earth. So basically, it gives you the story. You read the story. It has its topic, so fresh water and its inhabitants, or the seashore, the moon, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. And then it gives you discussion questions, or a discussion topic. It gives you questions to ask your children, and then it gives you a activity to go outside and do. And there are some stories that have multiple activities, and it gives you the age range. Here, let me just show you an example. So here we have Gluskabi and the wind eagle, and it tells you what part of the country they're from, and you read the story, and then at the end it gives you discussion questions, or a discussion, it gives you questions, and then it gives you activities or little experiments to try that are based off of that myth. This activity is called Catch the Wind, and you watch a demonstration of how wind cleans the air by dissipating pollution, and how the warm air rises, and how clouds form. Your goal is to understand that wind energy helps to keep the air clean, to bring the clouds, to keep the surfaces of the water clean, and to spread plant seeds. The age is for younger children, and then it gives you like all the procedures of how to do the activity. Yeah, so there's activities in here for younger children, for older children. This is just a really, really cool book. And again, I got it completely by accident. I think to like fill my cart for thrift books or something, and it was recommended to me, and I was like, sure, let's do it. And this is just a really, really cool book. If you want to flip through of this book more in depth, I'm happy to do that. Just leave it in the comments below. So this would be like a nature study aspect, but also I feel like I could probably use this as a whole curriculum, just because it's got so much inside. So those are my big question marks for science for next year. So yeah, if you have used any of these programs, if you have any feedback, if you've done it with younger learners, again, my son will almost be 7, and then my daughter will be 5. So I do want to keep it together. Like, I want to keep them together because they are so close in age. I think it'll just be easier to do that moving forward. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or comments or experience, please comment below. I would love to hear about it. And stay tuned for my hang-ups on history coming in the next video. Bye guys.